응아했네요.
Korea might say next, but the rest of the world says more. Some K-dramas just don't click with local audiences. But then, out of nowhere, they explode internationally. Whether it's a cultural divide, an overlooked gem, or just plain bad luck, these dramas found love beyond Korea's borders. Starting with Marry My Husband, 2024.
야, 안지원, 너는
Revenge, betrayal, and a second chance at life. Marry My Husband had all the ingredients for a K-drama hit. Trapped in a miserable marriage and betrayed by her best friend, Kang Ji-won's life takes a cruel turn when she's diagnosed with cancer, only to be murdered before she can process it all. But instead of dying, she wakes up 10 years in the past, ready to rewrite her fate and take revenge. With its gripping plot, satisfying payback, and romance that keeps you hooked, this drama had all the makings of a fan favorite. But instead of soaring to success in Korea, it stumbled into controversy after controversy. One of the biggest reasons Marry My Husband faced backlash was real-life scandals surrounding its cast. Lead actress Park Min-young was embroiled in a major financial controversy involving her ex-boyfriend Kang Jong-hyun, a businessman with a troubled past. Reports surfaced that she had received large sums of money from him, despite previously denying any financial ties. The news shocked fans and led to calls for a boycott of the drama. As if that wasn't enough, Song Ha-yoon, who played Ji-won's backstabbing best friend and ultimate antagonist, was hit with bullying accusations just as the drama was gaining momentum. A former classmate came forward with allegations that she had been a perpetrator of physical violence in high school, providing details of the alleged incidents. With two major scandals looming over the show, Korean audiences hesitated to support it. But the drama's troubles didn't stop there. Marry My Husband also faced accusations of plagiarism and Islamophobic content linked to the original webtoon. The plagiarism controversy erupted when a fictional news headline in the drama referred to a competitor launching a wide range of halal food, echoing real-world business rivalries a little too closely. But while Korea was caught up in the drama around the series, international viewers were loving every minute of it. The revenge plot, packed with karma-filled moments and a deeply satisfying character transformation, resonated globally. The series shot up the Prime Video rankings, becoming one of the most watched K-dramas on the platform. CJENM reported that in its second week of release, it secured the #2 spot on the weekly top TV shows in the world and has stayed there for 3 consecutive weeks. It topped streaming charts in 33 countries and even broke into the top 10 in the US, UK, Canada, and several European nations. This marked a major milestone. Marry My Husband became the first K-drama on Prime Video to achieve such widespread success outside of Asia. Critics and global audiences couldn't get enough. Furthermore, they NME it deliciously melodramatic and immensely addictive. While Screen Rant predicted that it would go down as one of the best K-dramas of 2024. And honestly, they're not wrong. Hooking viewers with every twist, Marry My Husband delivered the ultimate revenge fantasy. Controversy may have dimmed its local success, but globally, its gripping plot and record-breaking streams tell a different story. This drama is anything but a flop. Moon Lovers' Scarlet Heart Ryo, 2016.
봤냐고!
Who would have thought that this K-drama with a star-studded cast, a massive production budget, and a built-in international fanbase would only end up with one of the most infamous K-drama flops in Korea? On paper, Moon Lovers' Scarlet Heart Ryo had everything going for it. A breathtaking historical setting, a tragic love story, and an ensemble cast featuring some of the biggest names in K-entertainment. Not to mention, it was based on the wildly popular Chinese novel and drama Bubu Jingxin, which had already taken China by storm. So, with all this, how did it crash and burn in Korea, only to become a global sensation? Well, let's start with the biggest elephant in the room: idol actors. In Korea, actors who start as K-pop idols often face harsh criticism, no matter how talented they may be, and Moon Lovers had 2 big targets: IU and Baekhyun. IU, despite proving herself later in her career with hits like My Mister and Hotel Del Luna, was still fighting off doubters at the time. Many felt her acting was too stiff, and Korean audiences weren't fully convinced by her transition from singer to serious actress. Then there was Baekhyun, making his acting debut as the playful 10th Prince. While international fans adored his charm, Korean critics weren't as forgiving. idol actors have to work twice as hard to be taken seriously. And for many viewers, IU and Baekhyun's performances weren't strong enough to carry such an emotionally heavy drama. But the problems didn't stop there. Chaotic production issues plagued the drama from the start. There were script rewrites, last-minute casting changes, and delays caused by Lee Joon-gi's military enlistment. It resulted in a disjointed story that lacked depth in some places and felt rushed in others. Then comes the real deal-breaker for Korean audiences, which is the sheer level of heartbreak. Let's be honest, Korean drama viewers love their romance, but they also love their happy endings. Moon Lovers, on the other hand, gave them a full-course meal of pain and suffering. Character deaths piled up like dominoes, beloved princes met tragic fates, IU's character suffered endlessly, and just when you thought things might take a turn for the better, the open-ended finale left everyone emotionally wrecked. But here's where things get interesting. While Korean viewers turned away, international fans were eating this up. Moon Lovers became a massive hit across China, Japan, and Southeast Asia, racking up billions of views on platforms like Drama Fever and Viki. It turns out, global audiences actually love tragic melodramas. And Moon Lovers delivered all the heartbreak they could ever ask for. So, while Korean audiences may have given Moon Lovers a thumbs down, the rest of the world was busy replaying their favorite heartbreak scenes and demanding a season 2. Mr. Queen 2020. Imagine waking up one day and realizing you've been transported back to the Joseon dynasty. Oh, and you're now a queen. That's exactly what happens in Mr. Queen, a wild mix of history, comedy, and time travel chaos. After a freak accident, a modern chef wakes up trapped in the body of Queen Cheorin, Shin Hye-sun, struggling through palace politics with a 21st century mindset. With Kim Jong-hyun's King Cheol-jong hiding his sharp wit behind a clueless act, the drama delivers both laughs and surprising depth. But while Mr. Queen became a global sensation, in Korea, it wasn't all smooth sailing. The drama faced significant backlash, sparking heated debates and even formal complaints. One of the biggest controversies erupted in episode 2, when a character casually referred to the veritable records of the Joseon dynasty as a tabloid. In South Korea, these historical records are considered a national treasure, so this comment was seen as highly disrespectful. The backlash was immediate. About 700 complaints were filed to the Korea Communications Standards Commission, with outraged viewers accusing the show of trivializing Korean history. In response, the production team issued an official apology, clarifying that they never intended to offend and that they deeply respected Korean history. But that wasn't the only issue. The drama was adapted from a Chinese web novel, and some viewers took issue with this connection. To make matters worse, the original author had reportedly made negative remarks about Korea in their other works. Although the producers stated they were unaware of these comments, many Korean viewers couldn't separate the show from its controversial origins, and then came the cast scandals. Actor Kim Jong-hyun, who played King Cheol-jong, found himself at the center of a massive controversy. His past behavior on a previous drama, Time, 2018, resurfaced, leading to accusations of gapjil, abuse of power, towards his co-stars and staff. Things escalated even further when a petition was filed demanding that he leave the entertainment industry altogether. Meanwhile, lead actress Shin Hye-sun also faced criticism. Some viewers accused her of knowingly participating in a drama that allegedly mocked Korean history. Comments like, "She was so likable," but she became a sellout, flooded online forums, damaging her once sterling reputation. Despite all this, Mr. Queen refused to be buried by controversy. Instead, it became one of the biggest K-drama hits of the year. Its 16th episode recorded a massive 14.9% viewership rating, making it one of TVN's highest-rated dramas ever. And its success didn't stop there. When Mr. Queen was finally made available for streaming on Netflix, it skyrocketed in popularity once again. In its first week, it racked up 20.9 million global viewing hours, ranking 5th in Netflix's worldwide TV charts. The drama landed in the top 10 in 33 countries, including Brazil, Singapore, Thailand, and many more. Instead of the usual serious, slow-moving historical drama, Sejuk, Mr. Queen blended slapstick humor with intricate palace intrigue, giving global audiences something fresh and fun. Shin Hye-sun's performance was a masterclass in comedy, perfectly capturing the awkwardness of a man trapped in a queen's body while still delivering powerful emotional moments. Kim Jong-hyun's portrayal of King Cheol-jong added layers to the story, making their chemistry all the more engaging. And let's not forget accessibility. While Korean viewers turned their backs on Mr. Queen, international audiences streamed it non-stop. With subtitles available in multiple languages and its presence on major platforms like Viki and Netflix, the drama exploded in popularity worldwide. So, while Korea may have tried to cancel Mr. Queen, the rest of the world couldn't get enough of it. It's Okay Not to Be Okay, 2020. It's Okay Not to Be Okay. 2020 took a bold leap into mental health, trauma, and emotional healing, blending dark fantasy elements with raw human struggles. With Kim Soo-hyun, Seo Ye-ji, and Oh Jung-se leading the cast, the show was visually stunning and emotionally intense. However, while international viewers praised its deep themes and fairy tale-like storytelling, Korean audiences weren't entirely sold on it. It didn't just struggle with TV ratings. Korean audiences generally prefer dramas that fit into familiar genres like family dramas, rom-coms, or slice of life. On the other hand, dove headfirst into topics that can be considered taboo or too heavy for primetime TV. The main character, Ko Moon-young, played by Seo Ye-ji, is a mysterious and emotionally volatile children's book author with clear antisocial personality traits. She's brash, rude, and unapologetic, far from the typical candy girl lead seen in most K-dramas. Meanwhile, Moon Gang-tae, Kim Soo-hyun, is a burned-out psychiatric caregiver who has spent his entire life taking care of his autistic older brother. Their relationship is intense, complicated, and at times emotionally exhausting. While international audiences found the depth of these characters refreshing, many Korean viewers were uncomfortable with how the drama handled mental health and emotional abuse dynamics. Then there were the controversies. Less than a month into its run, the show faced backlash over a scene that was accused of promoting sexual harassment. This involved Ko Moon-young forcefully grabbing and touching Moon Gang-tae in a way that some viewers found problematic. The Korean Communications Standards Commission received multiple complaints, with netizens demanding an apology. But that wasn't the only storm the drama had to weather. It was also accused of plagiarism when fans of SHINee's late member Kim Jong-hyun noticed that one of his heartfelt letters had been used as dialogue in the show without permission. Given how deeply personal Jong-hyun's words were to his fans, this controversy led to outrage within the K-pop community, further dampening the drama's reputation in Korea. Despite these challenges, went on to win the world over. The show was hailed for its cinematic visuals, emotionally charged storytelling, and powerful performances, particularly from Kim Soo-hyun and Oh Jung-se, who played his autistic brother. It received 8 nominations and 2 wins at the 57th Baeksang Awards, was named one of the best international shows of 2020 by the New York Times, and even scored a 2021 International Emmy nomination for Best Miniseries, left a lasting impact on the global stage, proving that sometimes the most difficult stories are the ones worth telling. Love Next Door, 2024. Sometimes, all you want from a K-drama is a simple, heartwarming love story. And for the most part, Love Next Door delivers exactly that. A light-hearted, cozy romance about childhood friends Bae Seok-ryu and Choi Sung-hyo reconnecting after years apart. With its charming small-town setting and slice-of-life storytelling, the drama initially appealed to viewers looking for an easy, feel-good watch. But just when audiences were settling in for a warm, comforting ride, the show pulled a drastic U-turn, leaving many viewers frustrated. The biggest reason Love Next Door struggled domestically is that sudden, out-of-nowhere cancer plot twist. In episode 8, just as the romance was beginning to bloom, Bae Seok-ryu experiences severe stomach pains, only to reveal that she had been suffering from stomach cancer in the US, leading to the removal of 70% of her stomach. Korean audiences, who had been enjoying the show's easygoing, romantic comedy vibes, were completely blindsided. Many felt the tone shift was too jarring, dragging what was supposed to be a lighthearted love story into unexpectedly melodramatic territory. The backlash was immediate, with comparisons drawn to Queen of Tears, another drama where a sudden cancer subplot had divided audiences. But while Korean viewers criticized the abrupt tonal shift, international fans were more forgiving. Some even found the unexpected turn refreshing. Global audiences, particularly those accustomed to Western storytelling, are more open to drastic plot developments that introduce high-stakes drama. For them, Love Next Door went from a simple love story to something more emotionally engaging. At its core, Love Next Door still delivered an appealing mix of romance, nostalgia, and small-town charm, which made it a comfort watch for many international viewers. The slow burn chemistry between the leads, the beautiful countryside cinematography, and the universal theme of reconnecting with lost love resonated with fans outside Korea. Plus, dramas with illness or tragic twists have historically performed well in international markets, with hits like Uncontrollably Fond and Autumn in My Heart proving that global audiences have a soft spot for heart-wrenching romances. While Korea might have turned away from Love Next Door due to its mismanaged tone, the drama found a second life internationally. It may not have been the easy rom-com people expected, but for viewers willing to embrace the unexpected, it became an emotional, bittersweet love story worth watching. Brewing Love, 2024. Despite its charming premise, the drama struggled to captivate Korean audiences, ending with a nationwide viewership rating of just 1.8%. Brewing Love is a 2024 romantic comedy that opts for a more laid-back, feel-good approach. Starring Kim Se-jong as Cha Young-ju, a former Special Forces member turned top liquor saleswoman, and Lee Jong-won as Yoon Min-ju, a sensitive brewmaster, the series promised a refreshing blend of romance and personal growth. So, what caused this domestic underperformance? For starters, Brewing Love is a slow-burn, character-driven narrative. While some viewers appreciate a gradual build-up, others found the pacing too sluggish, especially in the initial episodes. One reviewer noted, "I was a bit concerned during those first 2 episodes whether I was going to drop this or not." Additionally, the plot's predictability and lack of high-stakes drama may have contributed to its lukewarm reception in Korea, where audiences often favor more dynamic storytelling. Despite these critiques, Brewing Love found a warm embrace beyond Korean borders. International fans praised its lighthearted and comforting vibe, with one viewer describing it as a light, fun, comfort drama that is character-focused rather than being heavily plot-driven. The chemistry between the leads was also highlighted as a strong point, bringing plenty of cuteness and emotion to the drama. Moreover, the series delves into themes of emotional connection and personal growth, resonating with viewers seeking more than just surface-level romance. The characters' journeys towards self-discovery and healing added depth to the narrative, making it a heartfelt, introspective drama that explores the power of emotional connection and personal growth. In essence, while Brewing Love may not have brewed a storm in Korea, its uncomplicated charm and relatable characters struck a chord with international audiences. Arthdal Chronicles, 2019. Arthdal Chronicles, Korea's labeled answer to Game of Thrones. With a budget of 40 billion won, about $33.7 million, and a star-studded cast including Song Joong-ki and Jang Dong-gun, it had all the makings of a legendary hit. The story, set in the mythical land of Arth, followed power struggles, tribal conflicts, and the founding of the first nation on the continent. On paper, it sounded groundbreaking. In execution, well, let's just say Korea wasn't entirely convinced. Despite its grand scale, Arthdal Chronicles didn't quite capture the hearts of Korean viewers. The first episode pulled in a 6.7% viewership rating, later rising to 7.3%. But compared to TVN's previous big-budget historical drama, Mr. Sunshine, which debuted at 8.9%, it was clear that Arthdal Chronicles wasn't living up to expectations. One of the biggest complaints? The pacing. Some found it too slow, others thought the plot was unnecessarily complicated, and many just weren't sold on its world-building. Then there was the comparison that everyone was making, Game of Thrones. From the political power plays to the costume design, Arthdal Chronicles couldn't escape the shadow of HBO's fantasy giant. Some even pointed out similarities to Apocalypto, which didn't exactly help its case. And let's not forget the CGI. For a drama that boasted such a massive budget, some of the effects left viewers underwhelmed. When you hype up a series as Korea's biggest fantasy epic, audiences expect visuals to match. Instead, they got moments that looked, well, less than cinematic. But while Korea was picking apart its flaws, international audiences were doing the opposite. They were loving it. Maybe it's because non-Korean viewers weren't comparing it to Game of Thrones as much, or maybe they just appreciated the effort of bringing a large-scale fantasy K-drama to life. Outside of Korea, Arthdal Chronicles gained a dedicated fan base, with viewers praising its ambitious storytelling and unique setting. And let's be real, how often do we get a full-fledged historical fantasy drama from Korea? For many, it was refreshing to see a K-drama step away from the usual tropes and dive into something as grand as civilization building and ancient wars. So, was Arthdal Chronicles a failure or just misunderstood? In Korea, it didn't quite meet expectations, but globally, it found a second life, proving that sometimes a show's true audience isn't always at home. And with a second season released years later, it's clear that Arth isn't done just yet. What do you think? Did Arthdal Chronicles deserve the criticism, or was it ahead of its time? Sisyphus, The Myth, 2021.
날 죽이려고 해.
왜 그렇게 겁이 없어요? 죽는 거 무섭지도 않아.
Sisyphus, The Myth, a sci-fi thriller that promised mind-bending time travel, high-stakes action, and a star-studded cast featuring Cho Sung-woo and Park Shin-hye. As JTBC's 10th anniversary special drama, expectations were sky high. A genius engineer, a warrior from the future, and a mission to break the time loop before a nuclear apocalypse. What could go wrong? Well, apparently quite a bit. In Korea, Sisyphus. The Myth just wasn't it. The premiere kicked off with a decent 6.67% rating, but by the finale, it had dipped to a quiet 4.36%, even scraping a personal low of 3.39% at one point. For a show that started off strong, the decline was noticeable. One of the biggest issues was the plot. Time travel stories need airtight logic, but Sisyphus played fast and loose with its own rules, leaving Korean audiences frustrated. There were disappearing characters, an underwhelming romance, and a villain that felt more like a last-minute addition than a real threat. Even the South China Morning Post wasn't impressed, slapping it with a brutal 1.5 out of 5 rating and calling its ending disappointing and illogical. Ouch. But outside of Korea, a different story. Sci-fi lovers around the world saw Sisyphus for what it was, an ambitious, if messy, attempt at a high-concept drama. While some compared it to The Matrix, albeit a watered-down version with more emphasis on faith and family, others actually appreciated the effort. It required some mental gymnastics to follow, sure, but for viewers who enjoy unraveling complicated timelines and futuristic chaos, that was part of the fun. Unlike Korean audiences, who tend to be selective with their dramas, global fans are more open to niche genres, and that's where Sisyphus found its real audience. So, was Sisyphus the myth a flop or just misunderstood? In Korea, it didn't land the way JTBC had hoped, but globally, sci-fi fans gave it the credit it deserved. Because sometimes all a show needs is the right audience to appreciate it. The Bride of Habaek, Bride of the Water God, 2017. Adapted from a popular manhwa, expectations were sky high, but instead of becoming the next great fantasy K-drama, it ended up being one of the biggest disappointments for domestic viewers. The Bride of Habaek, a fantasy romance that had all the right ingredients for success, an intriguing mythological premise, a visually stunning world, and a cast packed with fan favorites like Nam Joo-hyuk, Shin Se-kyung, and Crystal Jung. Unfortunately for Korean audiences, almost everything went wrong in this drama. Viewership ratings were dismal, hovering between 2 to 3.5%, and fans of the original manhwa were especially let down. The drama struggled with poor writing, a lack of direction, and, perhaps worst of all, zero chemistry between the leads. While the fantasy romance genre is supposed to bring magic and emotion, viewers think The Bride of Habaek barely delivered on either. The god's world was visually appealing but lacked depth, the romance felt forced, and the storytelling was so disjointed that viewers were often left confused rather than captivated. Even when the show tried to build tension, it led to nothing. One viewer summed it up as the most anticlimactic drama I've ever seen in my life. Add in weak character development, awkward editing, and subplots that went nowhere, and it's no surprise the show flopped in Korea. But here's the twist. Globally, it was a different story. While Korean audiences dismissed it, international viewers saw something else entirely. On global platforms, The Bride of Habaek surprisingly pulled in a solid 4.4-star rating, with many fans raving about its beauty, charm, and emotional depth. One review even gushed, "I've watched this more than 5 times, I lost count." The storytelling, direction, and dialogues were incredible. The show also earned an 87% approval rating on Asian Wiki, with many praising its satirical humor and sharp dialogue, something that seemingly went over the heads of Korean audiences. Some even found the sarcasm so relatable that they started using lines from the show in daily life. So, was The Bride of Habaek truly a bad drama, or just a misunderstood one? In Korea, it was a flop. Too slow, too confusing, and too lacking in emotional pull. But globally, it found an audience that appreciated its charm, visuals, and unique take on fantasy romance. Maybe it wasn't the masterpiece it was hyped up to be, but for the right viewers, it was still an enchanting watch. Legend of the Blue Sea, 2016.
아무 짓도 하지 마. 난 그냥 그만 확인해 볼 거니까.
Legend of the Blue Sea is the kind of drama that should have been an instant classic, a love story that spans centuries, a con artist with a heart of gold, and a mermaid who doesn't quite understand how the human world works. It's a mix of fantasy, humor, and romance that seems impossible to resist. And yet, despite its star-studded cast and breathtaking cinematography, it left audiences divided. For some, the magic of the show was undeniable. Lee Min-ho and Jun Ji-hyun carried the story with effortless chemistry, bouncing between hilarious banter and heart-wrenching romance. Their interactions alone made the show worth watching. The comedic timing was perfect, and the emotional depth was even better. And let's not forget the cinematography, crystal clear underwater sequences, shots of Spain, and visuals that looked straight out of a fairy tale. But then there was the editing. Korean audiences were quick to call it out, and for good reason. Scenes felt choppy, important moments were cut, and the storytelling suffered because of it. It wasn't until the release of the director's cut, 16 minutes longer, that people realized how much had been left out. Those missing pieces made all the difference, giving context to character arcs and making the story flow the way it was meant to. Yet, despite these flaws, international audiences saw something entirely different. On a global scale, Legend of the Blue Sea was a hit. It racked up a 9 out of 10 rating on IMDb, secured nominations for major awards, and was exported to nearly every major region around the world. For many, the mix of fantasy and romance, the humor woven into every episode, and the undeniable star power made it an easy favorite. So, what happened? Why did some people love it while others found it lacking? Maybe it's a matter of perspective. For those who connected with the story, the show's heart outshined its technical flaws. And for those who didn't, well, even the most beautifully crafted fantasy can't always convince everyone. But at the end of the day, Legend of the Blue Sea did what it set out to do. It told a story of love, fate, and the belief that sometimes, against all odds, people, or mermaids, are meant to find each other. What do you think? Click this video to watch part 1, where we reveal a list of surprising K-dramas that flopped in Korea. You won't believe it,